obrigado.
Thank you, thank you.
Muito obrigado.
Thank you very much.
Boa tarde, gente. Primeira vez que falo,
Hello,
sim, vocês
welcome.
me ouvirem, sim,
This
que
is,
vocês me ouvem.
if you
Mas,
can hear me
primeiro
well,
que nada, boa tarde
thank
e
you. So I
desculpa meu
just would like
sotaque, que
to
vai ser
say
muito ruim.
thank you, all of you. I
Afinal,
know
tem que
my
saber
accent is
de
really
onde eu
bad.
estou, qual é o meu
I
país.
understand,
Então, sou de Capgemini,
but
sou a
I'm
cargo
from
de Global Head
Capgemini.
de
I'm the
Capgemini
global
Research
head of
Institute.
Capgemini
É
Research
um instituto de
Institute,
pesquisa de
a
Capgemini a
research
nível mundial.
institute of
E hoje
Capgemini
vou
at a
falar
global
de uma
level.
coisa
And
super
today I'm going to
importante
talk
que são
about a
seus
very
filhos.
important thing that is your children.
Seus filhos que têm
Your
12,
children that
15,
have
18,
between
20 e
12,
que não
13,
querem
18,
fazer a
20
mesma
years old
coisa que
that
vocês
don't
fazem,
want to do the same thing that
que é
you
a forma
do,
de fazer a banca. E
right?
vamos a falar tudo de como
So
engajar
the
essa nova
idea
população
is to
que
engage
tem
this new
comportamento bem
generation that has
diferente.
a very
Então, entramos
different
nisso.
behavior.
E para isso fizemos reporte
And
que
for
sacamos
that, we
faz
created
par de
a
meses,
report that we
que é
started
todo
for a few
em
months.
como fazer para atrair,
That is how to
engajar e
attract,
encantar essa
engage,
população
and
única,
enchant
que é a
this
população
new
urbana
age gap,
de
this new
18 a
population, this
45 anos
youngsters
e
from,
que
these people
hoje
from
não
18 to
querem fazer a
45 years
mesma
old that
coisa que
today
os
does
pais
not want to
fazem.
do the same thing as
Então, vamos
that
lá.
the parents
Mas uma
want
coisa bem importante,
them to
quando
do.
fazemos tudo, eu
Another
vou mostrar
important
para
thing
você, e está baseado sobre
that I want to show
muitas
you,
pesquisas com
based
os
on a lot
clientes.
of
Falamos com
research that we had with our
8.000
customers.
consumidores,
We
8.000
spoke with
gente
over
como vocês, através
8,000
do
people,
mundo,
just like you,
e
across
falamos
the world,
especificamente com gente que
and
tem
we
entre
spoke
18
specifically
e
with people from
45 anos
18 to
e que vive
45 years
em
old
cidade grande.
that live in
E
big
terço
cities.
dessa gente é
And a
gente que
third
tem
of those
filhos, que
people
tem
are
filhos
people that have
de 12 a
children as
17
well
anos.
from
Por
that
quê?
age.
Porque o momento quando você já não tem mais
Because
dinheiro na
when you
caixa,
do
não
not
quer
have
dar
enough
ainda o Pix
and
que
you don't
dá
have
para eles um
money
cartão
anymore
pré-pago
and you want
para
to
que eles
give your
fazem seus
children
negócios.
maybe some
Então, isso que eu
prepaid
vou mostrar
card for
para
them to do
vocês.
their
E
business,
uma
right?
coisa
So I want to
que
show a little bit of
é
that
importante
research. And
que
another thing
não podemos
that is really
pensar nessa
important
gente,
because
não
we
podemos
cannot
engajar
think of
essa
these
gente da
people, we
mesma forma
cannot
que
engage
engajamos
these
a
people the
gente de
same
maior
way
idade.
they used to
Então,
engage
é
older
importante
people.
atrair
So
essa
it's
gente,
important to
mas pensando que é
attract
gente
these
urbana,
people,
que é gente
thinking that these are
digital first ou
people that live
digital
in
only.
big cities.
Como
They're
de você,
usually
estou falando
digital
com
only,
vocês, você
digital
está olhando
first.
o seu
For
telefone,
example, I'm
que
talking to
normalmente
all of
você
you,
faz
and you
isso
guys are
com todos
looking at your
eles.
phones.
Mas
I can
isso
see
significa
that.
que seu
But, you
nível
know,
de
this
commitment
this
que está
just goes to show
acontecendo é
that
sempre
your
bem baixo.
commitment level
Então,
to
eu
what is
tenho que
happening is
atrair a
always very
você de
low.
forma
So I want to
permanente.
try
Não
to
somente
engage you
atrair, mas também que
permanently, not
engajar.
only
Se não consigo
attract you,
dar
but
para vocês o
engage
que
you.
vocês
If I cannot
precisam de
offer
forma
you what
permanente,
you
vocês vão
needed in
perder
a
o
permanent manner,
momento,
you're definitely
o
going to lose
impulso,
that
recuperar o
drive,
impulso
going to lose
perdido.
that
E
engagement,
para
and it's
fazer
hard
isso,
to
tenho
recuperate
que
that.
fazer isso de forma
And to do that,
permanente
I need to
para que
try to do
vocês
that
fiquem
permanently
comigo.
so you can
E se eu faço
continue with
isso
me.
bem, você
If I
vai
can
ficar
do that well,
encantado, vai
I'm pretty
ficar
sure you
super
will be
interessado no
compelled,
que eu vou
extremely
dar
compelled
e
on
vocês
what
vão
I'm
ter uma
presenting, and
experiência
you
boa
will have
comigo
a good
e
experience
vão
now
ser,
with
vão
me,
aproveitar
and
tudo isso.
we'll be
Então,
able to enjoy
falamos
our
dessa
relation
pessoa. Agora
better.
vamos fazer para
So
trazer
these
como o
people,
banco
these
pode fazer
urban
para atrair uma
clients,
pessoa
digital
como esse
that
que
are
temos
digital
aqui.
first, how do we
A
attract
banca
this?
mudou totalmente.
The
Acho
banking
que
sector
se
changed
estão aqui na FEBRABAN porque
a
sabem que
lot.
isso
I think
aconteceu.
if you're here,
Mudou,
everybody, you
mas mudou a um
understand and
nível
you know that that happened, right?
extraordinariamente
But that
importante.
happened, but
E
that
por que mudou? Porque agora
happened
temos
thoroughly.
uma
And the
situação
reason that
bem
that
diferente.
happened is because we
Sua,
have a different
sua
situation,
expectativa é
and your
diferente.
expectations
Vocês
are
comparam
different
seu
too.
banco
If you
a
compare,
Netflix.
you compare your
Você
bank to
compara seu banco
Netflix, you
a Uber.
compare your
Você
bank
não
to
compara
Uber,
banco a
you don't
banco
compare
B.
one bank to another
Esquece
bank.
banco B.
You pretty
Se
much forget
Netflix
about the
sabe
other bank, because
exatamente o que
if
você
Netflix know precisely
ver,
what you want to
por que seu
watch,
banco não conhece?
why
Seu
does
banco
your
deveria
bank does not
conhecer
know
muito mais
you?
que
Your
você.
bank should know you
Então,
even better than
sua
Netflix.
expectativa
So, number
mudou
one, your
de forma
expectation has
diferente.
changed
A
dramatically.
tecnologia, que põe em
Two,
perto
the
aqui, é
technology,
mundo totalmente
what you're seeing
diferente.
here is a
É uma
completely
tecnologia
different
diferente
world,
significa
it's a
que
different
uma
technology,
experiência
and that
diferente. E
means that this is a
finalmente,
different
se
experience.
falamos a nível de
And
venda,
lastly,
de
if you're
viagem, a
talking
recolha
about
de cartão de crédito
profitability
vai
in terms
baixando,
of credit
então,
cards
se você
that are
está
going
a
lower,
cargo do
so if
banco e
you
da parte
are working
financeira, tem
with the
problema
financial
para
aspect
fazer
of a bank and
transações.
you
Então,
have
entramos nesse nível.
issues to
Primeiro
develop
que nada, quando
transactions,
foi a última vez que vocês
it's
entraram numa
difficult. So
agência
when was the
bancária?
last time that you went to
Mês
a
atrás?
branch, a physical branch from a
6
bank?
meses
A
atrás?
month ago, 6
12
months
meses
ago, maybe
atrás?
12
Esse é o
months ago?
problema, 12 meses.
That's the issue,
Então,
right? 12
pouca
months ago.
gente
You
vai
see,
na agência.
very few people actually go to a branch of the bank. Around 61% of people around the world do that transactions digitally. So banks, they still have their physical branches, have way more costs with very low profitability. And that's an issue that we have identified. Chatbot, now that has been empowered by AI, is becoming more and more intelligent. So 53% of the people are talking with these bots interactively. And the two words that all of you that works with banks need to remember is that perfect experience and from end to end, seamless transaction, right? And this is the difficulty that we see. Another problem that we see is that we have the Brazilian model that will be showing you. But before we go there, let me show you the example of Revolut. Revolut is the bank that your children, and maybe most of you have it. And let me ask you something. Which one of you have Revolut? Oh, I see some hands. And who has New Bank here in this room? I thought there would be more people using New Bank, but Revolut is the new bank from Europe, and I think Revolut is here in Brazil as well. And what is their strategy? First, that they are supporting a very niche population, because if you're traveling with anywhere, you're traveling Revolut, you're traveling for Revolut credit card, because we give you all the different possibilities, and everything is digital with Revolut. I can open my account on a Sunday sitting on my couch, and I can have a digital card, a virtual card, and I can link it directly to my main bank app. Everything is done very seamless. You don't need to go looking for documents, go to a branch, none of that. Third, the virtual card, it's important because sometimes people don't even have physical cards anymore, only virtual. Sometimes you want to give a card to your children, right? So they can create a virtual card, and with that you can follow through the expenses of who is using the credit card, because you're able to control it better. And also the level of security is way better. 70% of the clients came from the mouth-to-mouth campaign. And now, more towards your reality, New Bank from Brazil. New Bank here in Brazil, everything is extremely cool, right? You can take out New and put a Cool, that would be amazing. Cool has an amazing approach. It's seamless, it's easy, it's faster, it has everything that is AI driven. New knows exactly who you are and how you want to be known. It has a economy, and I love this data, by the way. New has assessed the amount of money that you have spent, and if you're working with a traditional bank, 40 billion reals that were not spent, that weren't given to a traditional bank. 224 hours spent waiting to be picked up by customer support. 200 million hours waiting, 248 million hours waiting on telephone to be supported. It has an engagement level that is amazing. The referral rate of New Bank is very high. It's very profitable as well. And at the end, everything is very intuitive. I spoke recently with New Bank, and they told me that their customer experience has 120 people, which work is solely to make sure that you do not call them. It's not that they don't want you to call, but they want you to do it to make sure that you find everything that you need on the app, so you don't need to call them. And we have also 118 million clients globally, and a profitability that is simply off the charts. So again, the physical bank does not exist anymore, right? That has been said, that the digital bank is modern, is active, but lately we've also said that the profitability that has a sort of exchange in the way you're paying, because last year you're still using your Visa or MasterCard. This year you're using Pix. Next year you're probably going to use Pix even more, and the physical cards are going to be declining even more. And as the use of cards decline, the profitability of the banks decline as well. So when you combine these two things, my expectancy, the way I think is different, digital is better and profitability is better, the banks are pretty much have a very difficult customer journey ahead of them. And what we see today, well, when we speak with marketing areas and we ask them, what is the rate of the conversion rate for customers? It's only 90%. From the moment that the customer hears about a bank, to sign it with that bank is only 9%. So you can imagine the cost that is implied for the bank. And why? Because there are other competitors, but on top of that is because the value the proposition is not as good as the digital banks, because the insights that I have from you to customize your profile in the bank are lower. The process of registration is more complicated. You need to get your documents to a bank branch, so everything becomes more complicated. And this has consequences, because if you think that your bank, your transactional bank, that you only need it to have a good connectivity and good security, who here can say that your bank is adapted to what you need on your life? When you get to that point, that's when you see that around 75% of our customers from the bank now are not getting what they need to remain customers of their customers, to remain trusting in that bank. And your bank is attacking this area, because they know what to do to attract those people. So now that we see the scenario is quite bad, how can we make sure that traditional banking continue to engage and attract the new people? Let's see these three cases here, three different people. We have Ava, 22 years old, she's from São Paulo, she's single, she doesn't have any kids, and she works at Geek Economy. We also have Luis, he lives in Paris. That might be able to help you understand better the different profiles. He is single, he has no kids, but he has a different, he's at a different level, a professional level at his life. And we also have Mike, 45 years old with one kid. Every single one of these people has a different profile and a different necessity, a different need. And the most interesting aspect of all of these people is what you see down below. What are the different communication channels that they use? Do these people talk you? Do these people chat with you? Or all the feedback that they get is from other people? All the feedback that they're getting are from social media, most likely. So we asked these three different people, Ava, Luis, and Mike, what do you think about your bank? From the first moment that you know the bank all the way through the onboarding process. And you can see it's pretty bad. When we look at the applicability and then we look at Ava, only 5% of the customers like Ava initiate the process of registering with that, choosing that bank, but they're quickly frustrated while they're still struggling to track their status on the process. So it's always a lot of friction on these processes in starting with the new bank. And also the onboarding, which is the moment of truth. The bank has invested a lot of money, and at some point you need your ROI, right? Your return on investment. And if you ask Luis, 70% of customers like Luis are usually sad that do not have a virtual card to use immediately because the customer support is not very responsive. So these are all information that makes me not choose a physical bank and choose a digital bank. So what's the solution? Well, the solution is to repeat models that work. And one model that really works is flywheel that Jeff Bezos invented when he created Amazon. He thought, what is the most important thing when it comes to customer experience? The customer needs to be captivated all the time. To do that, I need to bring him closer. I need to bring more vendors. With that, I have more offers, so the price goes down. I can offer services for more clients, and we do the same thing with the banks. We have the same flywheel model with the bank, in which the different people get into the flywheel in attracting, engaging, and captivating. So these new clients are also champions and defenses of your bank. And here brings two different moments. First, we have stages that make you want to work with me, that generates drive, and also have different steps that reduce friction. So if I give you what you need, you definitely give me a minute more of your attention, and with that, a minute more, you're able to connect better.
Let's see the situation here. A key moment of this relationship is the onboarding. Current moment, when you talk about onboarding, there is a lot of friction, frustration for everybody. 75% of people have difficulties with documentation that is incomplete. 75% they face delay in identifying the client. So they do not sign up, you do not have the money. So just 61% of the clients, 31% of the clients are pleased with the process. So I do not work with you anymore. This is a reason why. And this we have AI comes into scene. I need to talk about AI, otherwise I'm not going to be invited. AI is here to improve. Someday it will improve your life. Today it's going to improve my life. The processes in my bank, AI will be a great tool to help me to get to know my client better, bring the information in a permanent way, reducing the amount of information that I request. Efficiency, efficient AI. An agent AI is going to be smarter to recognize. We are still in the beginning of the journey, but AI is here to stay a long time. The difference is there are new players. Revolut, they have AI embedded. We have to bring AI with us along. So, I explained the initial situation. The second part, I talked about the attraction process and engagement. Now we are going to talk how to delight these customers so you get more pleased with my services. Let's see the flywheel again. And this flywheel, there are two important moments to reduce friction, increasing engagement. The personalized rewards. I know exactly what you need if you want to travel, eat out, get dressed, to be recognized, education. Each one of you will be a minute longer with me. And finally, when you call me because you have a problem, I know your problem before you call me. So the probability is higher that you are going to be with me longer. What can I do to reward your loyalty and reduce this friction when you call me? Any loyalty program must consider all of these. We have the transactional aspect. You spend X and you want to make double X. If it's not immediately gains, you forgot something, but not immediate gains, but you also have aspiration. If you want to go to the moon, other wants to travel to Miami, others Paris, I must know what you want, what you need in order to invite you in. So you stay with me, you have the possibility to travel to Paris next week. It has to be tangible, bringing something home and say, we have won that, but also aspirational and transactional. To find a balance among the four elements is fundamental to convince you to be committed to my business. The final moment and the biggest difficulty is this one, when you have a problem and you call the call center. Do not call the call center. I prefer to go to the dentist than call center, because the dentist solves my problem. Call center sometimes leaves me for some time hanging before solving my problem. Why do you call and use? What are the reasons and frictions that you find in call center? Disconnection between digital representatives and the branches. The banks, traditional banks, have a big problem. They improve their channels. Digital channels are very good. Digital is getting better, but both channels do not communicate. And if I start in a digital channel, I have to visit the branch, I have to repeat all my problem, and people hate it. And then long time of waiting in client service. The call is very important. Wait a second, and you wait longer and longer, and in the end the phone line disconnects. This happens all the time. And finally, the person had an answer, the next person had a different answer. Inconsistent communication. When you gather it all, we have more than 70% of the clients that do not like call center service. New bank said, I do not want people calling me. It's not that I do not want to be called, but if everything is well, there's no need to call because they have everything they need since the very beginning. That's the objective of having a close relationship. And it's funny, I imagine that you are going to see yourselves here, you relate, why do you call center? You think that you are one of the kind, but we are algorithms. First, we call the call center, first reason is to contest a transaction. We are not contesting the transaction, we do not recognize that transaction. So we are afraid the name is not so clear, the retail is not clear, the bank can use open banking and say, this is the retail store, you do not have to call me anymore. And to find help to activate the credit card. I forgot my PIN code, or I'm leaving, I need to block and reactivate my credit card. You can use the app and do it all. Report loss or theft of the credit card. It's easy to use it in the app and request a new credit card. These are 80% of the reasons why people call the call center. It's so easy to be proactive, and then you go ahead in the situation. Support guided by feeling. I know what you are thinking about because I am your bank. I know you so well. I know what time. I know if you are anxious. There are people in this room that have high anxiety rates between 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. The others 8 and 10 a.m. So I am your bank, I must know you, and I need to anticipate your actions, managing credit card in real time and problem solving. Everybody has a cell phone, a smartphone. I send you in a proactive way a message saying, are you trying to have a transaction and you cannot, you do not remember your PIN code? Check your cell phone, please, and try it again. One-time password, and your code is this one, 1234. It's easy. Proactive actions on client service. Something that is very funny, I receive my bonus once a year. My salary is like this. In a year, there is a peak, and then the rest of the year. The bank should know that at some point, this peak will come up. And if the bank works well, 15 days before my bonus, they send me an information. So this money, I'm not going to take it out, but it's going to stay in the bank, and the bank has this information for 5 years. I work at the same company, and I receive the same bonus at the same month. Why can't the bank send me a message before? They know that I like dollars or crypto coins. If the bank knows ahead, I would use it more frequently. And assistance with agentic AI and AI automatically. This could happen in a very easy way. So, just to sum up the situation, and I would like to have more time to speak with you. It's very important to have this flywheel, to have an opportunity of being constantly present in the client's life. I see few people watching at the phone because I gave you a piece of information and you were connected with my topic. There are people still looking at their cell phones, but it's okay. Are you looking at your cell phone? Okay, don't worry. And for that, if you're doing your business well, you can offer better communication with the client. Communication works both ways. I send you something and you respond and we are connected. Offering communication that is directed in omni-channel, optimizing the onboarding, reducing the manual work of that client, improving the client service, modernizing the contact center. In general, just to conclude, if you have questions, it's important to think about this population. They are different. You have to attract and think about digital first for these urban clients, and then you need to engage them permanently, and for that the flywheel is very important. And to conclude, if you are pleased with me, you are delighted, and the evolution is from transaction to a relationship that is based on experience. And I finish my presentation. I hope you understand with my bad accent. Thank you so much. And if you have questions, I'm here for you. It's very complicated. Please go ahead.
Kátia Simões,
Kátia Simões, Economic Value Journal. My question is, you talked about engaging this new generation. What should we do with the clients from the old generation that we still have? They were used to the branches, physical services. They are lost now. Great question. And this is one of the two things that traditional banks still have. Traditional bank, you know, I think traditional banks have good days ahead of them, because there are two things that everybody needs: human contact, that's number one, and safety, number two. Your money will take long to go to the new bank as your main bank. Your main bank is still this big bank, the first millennium. And this bank should adjust to this new population that is going, the population that still goes to the branch. The problem is the branches, they have to be more educational branches. People here get educated automatically, but this population, higher age, they cannot have this automatic education. They need to talk to someone to learn. There are two categories: low-income population and normal income, middle income. Low-income population will stay for a long time, you know, interacting with the branch, and the branch needs to serve this population one way and the other population another way. But we have to think that it's not that the young people like telephones, but old people know. Elderly people are getting more and more automated. It doesn't matter the income. Financial inclusion is going to be very important, and little by little we are going to change this scenario. The difficulty is that there is always 5, 10, 20% physical branches. Okay, but very little by little you are going to reduce this rate because they are getting education. If you adjust to different age ranges at different educational levels, we can have financial inclusion, enabling little by little the reduction of the branches. The most important aspect that the branches have is trust. People trust traditional banks. They trust more and more in digital banks, but it's an achievement for these new banks, and there is a resistance for traditional banks. One more, if you have a final question. Good afternoon. I am Gina from Caixa Cartões. In a very competitive market, we call it, we steal the market. I'd like to hear from you, what is the main factor that defines the choice, this customer choice, for which credit card they would use?
A referral.
the referral aspect, because if you had a good experience, the probability that I use the same card as yours is really high. Some time ago, it was all about marketing, the market that you could create it. Now it's all about TikTok. In your report, if you look at it, we have talked about 3 different levels of communication. One communication and also paid communication. The one communication was we talked about you on social media. So if I have a customer that says, I went to Caixa and I loved my experience there, that one will have a higher impact now, way more than if you buy marketing for it. One of the things that traditional banks do a lot, and I feel like it's a bit dangerous, it is to offer cash to me, 50, 100, 200 reals, because the limit goes to infinity, the cost is a lot, and the security level of it's not that much. I've seen a lot of digital banks that do not give that to the customers, but they provide instead a lot of good experience. That's what I said. Your best salesperson is the person that used your card and that liked your card. However, if your friend did not like it, the situation goes dire pretty quick. So that's all for me. Hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully we'll be talking